Well, salutations, kindred spirits. Hey, and welcome back to another weekly Wednesday magic lesson. Yeah, if you're new to my channel, this is what we do on Wednesdays. I teach beginner or intermediate magic tricks, concepts, sleight of hands, things of that nature. And if that sounds like your jam, hit the subscribe button. I'm supposed to say that, or I'm not a real YouTuber. And if you haven't checked out my tutorial playlist, I'm going to drop that right here. You can go look at some card tricks, some coin tricks, some rope magic. There's a lack of ball magic, and that's why we're doing that today. Yeah, we're going to cover the granddaddy of all tricks, the cups and balls. I'm going to teach you 3 beginner sequences, and hey, let's get started. We'll start at the beginning with Cup Magic 101. This is where you put a ball on top of a cup, wave the wand, and it appears to pass right through. Yep, just like a magic trick. No, there's no trapdoors. In fact, there's no gimmicks, and we'll talk about how to do this impromptu. But first, let's get through this sequence. Ball number 2 through the top of cup number 2. Once you get good at this, with a little practice, you can go through 2 cups. Of course, that's 2 waves, so it goes through both cups. Yeah, that's all 3. And that's very easy, and you'll learn that momentarily. Let's talk about a sequence from the great Giovanni Bartolomeo Bosco, who had a method for taking all 3 balls, vanishing them one at a time, and then they would reappear back under the cups from whence they came. Yeah, so we'll cover that as well. Well, that's a classic sequence, which I learned from the Dai Vernon book of magic. We'll talk about that. First, let's put 1 ball under each cup. That's 1, 2, 3 cups, 3 balls, unless you plan on cheating, and I do, and that's all 3 cups under 1. And that's what we're going to learn today. 3 great sequences, and let's get started. So first, you're going to need some cups and balls. Now, this is the set that I sell at conjure.com. I'll leave the link in the description. It includes the cups, heavy aluminum, Murphy's Magic cups, crochet cork balls, come with those. Get a nice magic wand, and I also include a set of cups and balls. That goes hand in hand with an extended routine I teach in the tutorial you get when you buy the trick from me. So take a note, this routine uses 4 balls. Yeah, that's the main secret. It's the one ahead principle. It can be applied in many different ways. The one ahead principle, of course, the principle behind many magic effects. But before we go on, I want to note that you don't have to have a professional set of cups and balls. Look what I did right before the show. I grabbed some plastic cups. You'll ideally have some with a little space in between them because the balls are going to rest in between the cups. And these balls, which I've used quite a few times in my life in a pinch, are just little squares of aluminum foil that you roll into a ball. And on that note, that if you can get one ahead with one of these, you can create this effect impromptu, and that's what I was talking about earlier. All you have to do is get 1 ball ahead. Maybe it's a napkin, a balled up napkin. Maybe it's a piece of cork like Malini used to use back in the day. Or maybe you get that aluminum ball and get your cups and balls ready to go that way. So yeah, if you need to get practicing, you don't have a very good excuse in my book. You can find some napkins, you can find some aluminum foil, you can find some plastic cups, and you can get to work practicing this trick today. So these cups are nice. The way they're designed allows a few things. As I was talking about, that nested section is perfect. The rims on the cups allow for some different sequences. The cups through the cups, and these I think are just the right size to host all 3 balls on the top. So those are some advantages of owning a professional set. And on that note, again, link in the description if you need a set of those, like 32 bucks. It's pretty reasonable. All right, so let's get started here. Phase number 1, the balls penetrating through the top of the cups. Well, in this case, I just had an extra ball in the center cup before I started. I like to count the cups to begin the routine 1 at a time on top of each other. This subtly displays the cups empty, and you can flash the empty cups as you do this. When you're ready to make the magic sequence, lay the cups out 1 at a time. I like to teach this. You hold them as though you're drinking the cups, and then you grab from the bottom. And note, you don't have to be the Flash to make this happen. You can do this very smooth. That's the cup with the ball in it. Just gently place it down. And now, unbeknownst to our audience, there's a ball under the middle cup. So what that means is when I put 1 on top of the cup and cover it with the other 2 and make the magic, now it looks like the ball has gone back through. And look where it's at. It's right back in the middle. So really all you have to do this trick is repeat this sequence 3 times, putting the ball on top, waving, and it appears to go right through. Note, I switched it up on the routine I did. It's quite common to finish it on the same thing, but I put it through 2 cups. This will set us up for the Bosco Vanish sequence. So 2 cups, same thing, just put the cup on top. I like to lift here as a little mental disarmament, so I lifted the second cup. I say it goes not through one but two. That's all three, and that's the cups and balls. Now we're going to lay them out. This time, because we went through two, the extra ball is on the end. So the extra ball is going to be over here, and with the balls on top of the cups, we're ready to begin the Bosco Vanish sequence. For this sequence, you're going to need to learn a Vanish technique. So you're going to need to learn how to pretend to put something in your hand and make it disappear. If you look at that tutorial playlist that I mentioned, you'll find a topic that covers palming and or vanishes. I advocate the Reginald Scott, one of the oldest tricks in the book, Discovery of Witchcraft technique of just putting your thumb on it. So as you turn your hand over, you put your thumb on the ball, close the other hand into a fist. This is a very simple but effective way of apparently placing a ball in your hand. Like most good sleight of hand, if you have another object when you're palming to pick, if you have another object to pick up when you're palming, your palms are going to be more deceptive. And yes, that's exactly what a magician uses a magic wand for. If you're in an impromptu situation, you might use a table knife or a chopstick or a straw. So you could do that as well. So the three ball sequence where they're vanished and reproduced. You pick up the ball off the top of the cup. That's the one that has the extra ball. Pretend to put it in your hand, pick up the wand, and then make the ball disappear. You don't have to use the wand, but your palms are going to be more natural if you do. To make the second ball vanish, we're going to feed this ball under this cup as we tip the ball into our hand. So as the hand goes towards the cup, the ball's in finger palm position. The finger palm hand grabs the cup and tilts the ball into the awaiting hand, which rests below it. And as that happens, I just drop the ball under the cup in that sequence. So this is a classic ruse and very effective for many things. I note that Mike Ammar has an advanced technique of this you might consider, where he tosses the ball into his awaiting hand, which is a little higher. This adds a little more action to the trick. I don't use it that way, but it's a technique that you could consider. So, in fact, the Mike Ammar routine is a routine you might consider. It's in the Mike Ammar Book of Magic. There's a reference that is a handy one for any magic student, the Mike Ammar Book of Magic. And I'll double reference the Dai Vernon routines. This sequence I learned from the Dai Vernon Cups and Balls manuscript. I don't even know if that's available anymore, but probably the Dai Vernon Book of Magic or the Stars of Magic book. Those are both great resources for learning these sequences as well. And they're all great books, so get those on your shelf if you can. All right, continuing along, we pretend to put it in the hand, make it disappear, and then we just repeat the sequence. So this sequence is just repeated 3 times. You're left with the ball finger palmed, tippy tap tap, and you make the balls come back. Now, as you lift the middle cup with the finger palm ball, you're going to load the ball under the cup as you place it on the table, placing you one ahead in the middle. So at speed, it's tap, 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 the balls come back. Lift this one first to draw attention. Now this one, because this draws the attention first, that makes it easier to load the ball without having suspicion or undue attention on this cup. And the balls come right back one at a time, and that's how you get to this position. Continuing on, what we're going to do here is pretend to put one ball under the middle cup and then load it under to this cup. And I'm going to advocate this technique, which is pretending to scoop the ball under the cup, but leaving it in finger palm. Note that you can do the same Vanish technique with this, pretending to put the ball in your hand and under the cup in this fashion. So using the same technique for the Bosco Vanish, you can pretend to put a ball under the cup. But I'm going to advocate pretending to put a ball under the cup in this fashion. So just as the hand scoops it under, the ball rolls up into a finger palm. As I apparently place the second ball under the middle cup, I add this ball to it and really put both balls under here. I actually like to create a little suspicion in that moment. So I'll put this one under, and then I do this and pretend like I'm being fishy, and then I flash my hands empty. Just a little red herring for those watching too close. The last ball, you pretend the same way you pretended the first two, either this way or this way. And then to make your magic moment, show the 2 cups empty. You'll likely be loading that ball again, and then show all 3. And there's your 3 sequences for the cups and balls. The penetration, that's a great easy sequence you can learn. The one ball Vanish is a wonderful training just for sleight of hand in general, even if you don't perform it. And then that final 3-ball sequence when the ball's all transposed to the middle cup. That's a great sequence with the cups that is well worth your attention if you plan to do this trick. So there we go. Beginner's lesson on the cups and balls. There's a lot more where this came from, and boy, we'll get to that one day. But for now, I hope this knowledge serves you well. Hey, get those books. Get the Dai Vernon Book of Magic and get the Mike Ammar, Magic of Mike Ammar. It's an odd title for that book because a lot of the magic is not Mike Ammar's, but man, a lot of it is, and a lot of it's good, including his cups and balls routine. So check out those 2 books, do yourself a favor, and that's going to do it for this lesson, the weekly Wednesday magic lesson. That's a wrap. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your energy. And hey guys, I'll see you on the next clip. Ciao for now.